Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I have one of the coolest young men I've ever met in my life, and I'm not exaggerating. I've got Bodhi Kelley from Florida with me. Bodhi, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah, we're trying. We Bodhi and I we're having a little technical difficulties. Help me, Lord. I feel like I'm hypnotized, but we're getting her going. Great to have you here. Tell the people what's the name of the town in Florida?
Mayaca City,
Okay,
right near
and
Sarasota and Siesta Key.
you are an aquarium expert and an exotic animal handler.
Yes, yes, sir. I've
Okay.
been doing that all my life.
And you're on the road right now. You were telling me earlier that you are with I guess a show.
Yeah. So we're called
Okay.
Sealand Encounters. We travel around to different fairs and different events
Okay.
with either a shark, stingray, or butterfly encounter. Um,
Okay.
Shark encounter is like a big show, 15-minute show. Stingray encounters typically all day with you get to come in and pet the stingrays, and then the butterfly exhibit
Pet
you
the
get to go through our
stingrays.
big.
Pet the stingrays.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a
Yeah.
good idea
So
to me.
so you can come in.
That doesn't sound like a good idea to me.
Yeah. So
Didn't no wait, before you go on,
so
didn't
stingrays get
Steve
a really
Irwin die
yeah.
from a stingray? The crocodile?
So that's probably a name that I hear. Yeah. So that's a name I hear probably more than any other in
Yeah, because that's
my line of work.
why in the hell? Why in the hell? In other words, if someone said to me, Scotty T, would you like to pet a stingray?
So something about uh that what happened to Steve Irwin is really sad because he was my hero growing up, but when they were recording the documentary that happened on, he it was a huge southern stingray, like more than 10 feet long. The barb on it
Okay.
was easily, that big. He
Okay.
jumped on top of it. Most people don't realize that he actually like jumped on top of the stingray, and you
Now,
know that's the only defense mechanism they have is the barb. They're super soft. They're all of them. If they didn't have that barb, they'd be super easy for any shark or orca to take a big chunk out of them or just eat them in general. But
okay.
so when he jumped on it, it freaked out. It shoots its barb up, and like one in a million odds, it
It
goes
killed
through
him.
his rib
It
cage and
killed him,
slices
brother.
his
It
heart
killed
open.
him. It didn't freak out. It killed him.
Okay, so well now I'm going to tell you about my stingrays. So my stingrays are about this
Okay.
big. Uh,
So
the
they
barb
can't
on
kill
them is
you.
about this big,
Biggest
and
they can do is do a little slit in
no,
you.
no, pretty much.
I'm just being
Now
an
the venom.
idiot.
A lot of people like talk about how they're venomous and stuff. So the venom with stingrays has never killed anybody. It burns like hell. It's not fun, but it's not not
What
anything that's
killed
gonna
Steve
do any
Irwin was
serious
the
damage.
slashing of the barbs.
Yeah, it was when the barb
Okay,
went
all
through
right,
his rib
okay,
cage and
I
stabbed him in the
got
heart, and then they proceeded to pull it out of him, which caused him to bleed out. Um,
I'm not sure which
but
part of this
my
I'm
rays,
liking less. None of it sounds good. None of it sounds good. Okay, well
well,
let's move
the
on.
other
Go
thing
ahead.
is our rays have their barbs trimmed, so a lot of people don't realize that stingrays shed and grow new barbs their entire life because as they grow, they need bigger and bigger barbs. And it's made out of the same thing that uh, like your fingernails are made out of. So all we do
Yeah.
is take a pair of pliers, cut it to where it's blunt, and it can't do anything to you.
Okay. All right.
So so our rays have no chance of stinging, no chance of harm. Worst thing's gonna happen is they might nibble your finger and they don't have any teeth.
Okay. All
So
right.
they're very safe, very fun. Only thing in the tank that'll get you is the shark. That's the other thing that'll get you.
Okay. Bodie, for the people that are just tuning in here, Bodie's on Instagram as
Mm-hmm.
Colossal Exotics. Um, I saw a video or two, and then there's one of you with this fish, and you were telling me earlier that you love fish, and tell the people about in case they go to Instagram and see that fish. What made you love
So yeah,
collecting
so he's
fish?
yeah. So that fish is called a flower horn.
Okay.
They're actually a hybrid, so they're not a naturally occurring fish. Um, they're a mix between a red devil, trimac, and
Okay.
it's argued on the other ones. But basically, they have been bred to have these super bright red colors and super huge. You'll actually like this. You'll never guess what the horn's called, or the
Yeah.
big knot on their head's called.
What is it?
It's called a cock. So when you get a flower horn, you want the one with the biggest cock, which I think is real
This
fun.
is a big one, Elizabeth. This is a big one. I got a cock on my head. I know.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I
That's
do
the
a
most.
joke like that. There's a joke I have up like that about a guy
Oh
that
yeah.
that's what it said. I wanted to ask you. I did it on the earlier one, but I just wanted to touch on the twins that you got those guys to do that video for you, and that is so cool. What
Hell yeah, hell
you
yeah.
said?
Shout out to
What are they
Voros
called?
Twin.
How do you pronounce their name? The Voros twins.
Yeah, Voros Twins.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
very,
yeah.
very funny.
I was
They got really
mesmerized
good
with that.
content.
Those guys do some amazing videos. I like the one
Yeah,
where they
for
said they got a
sure.
Christmas present and their house is on fire and they grab the camera. Come on, let's go. Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool video. But
Oh yeah.
let's go back because there's another part to your profile on Instagram that I was like beyond you and we did touch on before I get into that, tell the people uh the number of animals you have at your house. You're on the road right now, but back at your house you have, and just go through them if you could.
I have a short-haired tabby, a sphinx, a short-haired tabby sphinx mix.
Okay, so that what are those? Three cats.
uh,
You have three cats.
three, three cats at
Okay,
home.
okay, three cats.
Um, we have a 30-pound sulcata tortoise. His name is
A
Marvin.
tortoise. You
I
have a
have
big
a
turtle.
10-foot reticular.
A
Yeah, big
turtle. Big
tortoise.
turtle. Okay.
My mom hates him because he destroys everything. I will tell people this: tortoises, once they get big, they are destructive. They hate everything. All they do is eat and break things. They suck. But I love him.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay. How it's like I told you about the guy with the duck, the guy that found the little,
yeah, yeah.
and he's lived with a duck for 6.5 years. How did you get the tortoise, and how has it lived with you all those years?
So somebody actually brought him into me when I was working at one of the stores I was working at, and
Oh
he was
yeah,
about
you were
15
telling
pounds
me.
then.
Go ahead, keep going. You started working at pet stores when you were like 11, you said?
Yeah. So my mom had known the owners. She worked there when she was younger, and so they let me volunteer really young. And I ended up doing an apprenticeship with the owner for
Okay.
quite a few years, and basically learned everything I know. And then I've bred freshwater stingrays. I've worked at a couple different pet stores. I managed fish rooms at multiple pet stores. It's basically all I've done. That and then the sharks that I'm doing now.
Let me stop you there because I'm so, like I told you, earlier about when I was a kid, I had seahorses, and you said managed
Mm-hmm.
a fish room, and it took me a second to grasp. You had how many tanks? In other words, saltwater tanks, freshwater tanks, goldfish, guppies.
So
You had, how many tanks?
yeah, so the store that I worked at with the most tanks we had 125 tanks in total.
Okay.
So we were doing water changes and feeding. So I was taking care of over 100 tanks at one time. That was a lot.
Right.
And then other stores I've had upwards of 50
Okay.
running
All
at
right.
one time. It's easier when they're all in one system, but I've run them separate, and
Well,
it's a lot of work. It's I don't recommend it.
yeah,
It's hard. It's
let's
super
move
duper
on.
hard.
Let's move on to the 10-foot python. And you actually have a name. What is the 10-foot python's name?
So her name's Yang. She's a
Yang.
platinum tiger reticulated python. She's bright yellow, has these really nice patterns on her.
Yeah. And for those of you that again, I'm going to post all of his links on this video and YouTube, Instagram links and stuff. You can go see the picture. It's a 10-foot, python that you've had for how long have you had? How long have you had, Yang?
I have had her for 3 years now.
Okay.
I've had her for 3 years. She was about a year old when I got her.
How big was Yang when you had her, 3 years ago?
She was about 4 foot, 5 foot. So
So it's
retics
doubled in
grow
size in
super quick
three.
when they
How big will it get?
retics can max it out at like over 25 feet long. Yeah. So they get really big.
What's the future? What's the future for Yang?
Well, so eventually I will have a right now the enclosure she's in is she's built into the wall. The tank is, I think, like
Yeah, I saw some
12
pictures.
square feet.
Yeah, I saw some pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, it's pretty. But eventually, I mean, she'll have to have, like a whole almost room for herself.
I'm curious. I'm curious.
I'm sure my
also,
mom will love that.
yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious also how much food and what does the 10-foot python require in a day, and what do they eat?
So the thing about like retics and pythons and snakes in general is they don't really have to eat that much. I typically like to feed once a week, but if it's like during the colder months, I typically will feed less, and I'll like get her nice and fat during the summer, and then during the winter I'll sort of let her chill out, because something a lot of people don't realize is the metabolism in them is so low that if you feed them like a big meal and they get cold and they don't get to digest it, it'll rot and kill them inside. So that's something
a
lot of people don't know.
Well, I told you again, we did one earlier. A friend of mine, Kevin, was breeding snakes, and he had aquariums. He had like not your fish tank thing where when you'd go to his house, he had 30 tanks around the place, and he was breeding
with snakes.
and he was making some money. He was breeding them, he was selling them for $200-300. And I was shocked that those snakes he was combining breeds and making making snakes, but he was making a lot of money doing that. Not making a lot of money, but I used to go and I was always flipped out that what if they got loose and stuff. Now beyond and we kind of got segued off with the python. Beyond the three cats and the tortoise and the python, are there any other critters there at the house?
Yes. So I mean, I've got we have pigeons now.
Pigeons.
We do possum rehab. So yeah, pigeons. We take in possums during the spring.
Pigeons and possums.
A lot of times when the moms get hit on the road.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, possums.
And just because now you're on the road in Florida, but you were telling me earlier that you actually are you in Kentucky? Is that right?
That's where I'm from. Yeah,
Well,
that's where I'm from.
Where are all these animals, Mom? If you don't mind me asking, where's all
Kentucky.
that? Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you must have a nice piece of property up there that you have a tortoise and you know what? I didn't mean to interrupt. Let's go through it. 2 turtle doves and a partridge and a pear tree. We have a tortoise. We have a 10-foot python. We have 3 cats. We have a possum rehab. We have pigeons. And go on. What else do we have up there?
We have 3 dogs. We have a blue heeler, Cavalier Spaniel Poodle mix, and a Chihuahua.
Okay.
Let's see. We got a Pac-Man frog. We have I think I'm telling you, we used to have way more animals. Like because back when I was living at home,
how was Christmas? Were you home for Christmas? I hope.
Oh, it was good.
Okay, good.
Yes, I did. I just drove back.
And do the critters get little presents, or I'm just playing. No, I tell you what,
You're
uh,
good.
as I said to you, and I'm laughing because when people have goodness in their hearts and take care of animals, it is such a special thing that it warms my heart and I laugh. And we talked earlier about people on
Hey, I'm glad. Hey,
no people on social media that are so
I'm
mean
glad.
and are so quick to judge. And even though I'm laughing, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because if I could, I have a small little
Don't
place.
worry. I laugh.
Okay.
I laugh at everything. Don't worry.
Okay.
Dude,
No, I just didn't want
my
you to
dad
be
gets on to me
insulted that
because
I
he'll.
was laughing at you. No, I have the
No,
utmost
no, not at
respect.
all, dude. Don't
I have
worry.
the
You're not
utmost
gonna insult
respect,
me.
Cody, for you and your family. And you mentioned rescuing
I
possums,
appreciate
and
that a lot, man.
God bless, man. God bless you. That's it.
Hey, God
I
bless
wish there
you,
were
man.
more
Hey,
people. I told the story about my neighbor, and this is true. Let the good Lord strike me down if I'm lying. My neighbor, and I've been involved with it for the last 3 years. There's a stray cat, and she named it
mhm.
Sidekick because the cat always stays with her, but yet the cat won't go in her house. When she tries to pet it, it scratches her. But she continues to feed the cat.
But
She went to the hospital and said, Scotty, will you feed the cat? I just at Christmas, her family came down and brought the dogs and everything. She put the cats, she bought a house for the cat, and the cat wouldn't go in the house. I mean, and again, you see me laughing, but yet I have the utmost admiration for Linda and you and Boris in Bulgaria with the duck. I've had beagles in my life. I told you I had seahorses. Anyone. It when you have a life in your hands, you have a responsibility to take care of it. There are
I
stray
couldn't have
cats.
said
There
it
are
better.
stray cats around here, and she does everything she can. The lady across the street, and it's just your comedy minute. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Hey, I couldn't have said it better, man. That's that. Yeah,
no,
man.
and
I totally
I'm
agree.
sorry. It just because there's so many
Oh,
things.
you're good, man.
Go ahead. No, no. I want you to tell me.
No, I would say no. I was saying, yeah, no, I couldn't have said it better, man. Like, there's a lot of people who don't want people to have relationships with animals and don't want people to interact with them, and but really, like, what a lot of people need to see is that when somebody is taking their like time out of their day to help an animal or to take care of an animal, like they're like nobody else is going to do that. Like like a lot of these animals are in spots where, like in the city and stuff like that, cat,
Yeah, yeah.
where that's not where they're normally from. They're like that's not their natural habitat, and so they
Right,
rely on
right,
us to
right.
take care of them and to keep them alive. And so, I'm
Whoa.
somebody who has always laughed, always looks for the good in life, and I like dark comedy too. I like, so if you don't know
Yeah, right,
what this is Sam Hyde, MD, like that's like
right.
my like
What? Hey, okay.
that's what I watch, and
Why
that's
aren't there any
our life.
books? Why aren't there any books about suicide in the library? Because nobody brings them back.
I guess nobody. Right. Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
You want to? Hey, you want even?
But there's
You want
always
what? You want
sincerity in
one even
comedy.
worse than that?
Let me hear it. Let me lay it on me.
If you like dark humor, I got dark humor.
Oh, let's hear it, man. Let's hear it.
Well, I can do two. this, no, I'll do this one. Uh, why can't you fool an aborted baby? It wasn't born
Why
yesterday.
not?
It wasn't born yesterday.
Oh man.
My girlfriend said I want to see other people. I said, bitch, you're not getting out of the basement.
uh,
I love to make people laugh. It's like you taking care of animals. I love to make people laugh. I like to shock them. I like to say shit that they'll go, Oh my God. Did he just say that? It's like,
all
and we'll get
throughout.
back to the animals because I have one other thing I really want to touch on before we run out of time. Um,
Yeah,
I let me do that first. Let's get on to this because on your profile on Instagram it says Sam Weto Hyde because I always get away with it. Now,
yeah. So that's a Suicide Boys line. It's from what it's referencing is as a documentary made about Sam Hyde called "Getting Away with It" that iDubbbz did, and I really like it because what I've found, like in life, it's never over. It's never like the end. Shit, it always happens. Like you can always get away with it. Like no matter, like, and I feel like, and I do all like I don't know. It's sort of just to me. I think it's funny because like I've always had a lot of people who really didn't like me. Like you're like in school, like you were talking about shocking people. I would fuck with people hard, and especially in social studies. So I'm always somebody who's always studied history, studied politics, like been interested in all that kind of stuff. And I've always known how to troll people really well. And I've almost always had history teachers that let me do this, because I would say just the craziest shit. I would argue with people on anything, and even if the history teachers didn't like what I was saying, they'd let me do it because I would get people interacting in the class. Like people who never talked would be like, "Hold on, I got something to say about that." I
because
appreciate that. That means
no,
a lot,
and
man. I really
because
appreciate that.
people bash me. I always say this: people hate me before they even get to know me. Now it does save time.
That's oh man,
It saves time. I mean, eventually you'll get to hate me, but just, give them people. There's a
give me
guy.
a chance. Give
Yeah,
me
yeah.
just.
This guy the other day, he watched one of my, it's called Your Comedy Minute. There you go. Vape. Good. I can smoke a cigarette or
Yeah,
smoke a little hubba.
hell
The, uh,
yeah,
the guy, he watched one of my videos, a 1 minute Your Comedy Minute. He watched 1 minute video and he immediately said, I was a shithead. I have nothing, no future. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm stupid. Damn, he took a lot from a 1 minute video. And all I was doing was telling a joke.
dude. That's the thing about like Instagram and all the
I
social
don't,
media.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't take anybody seriously.
I don't,
Like you can't. And that's everybody knows that's like the point. That's the joke. Like
well,
you can basically say what you want and have no
well,
consequences. I mean,
well,
there are consequences, there are, but people until they get the consequences, they feel as though they don't have any, and so
well,
they feel free to say a lot of.
I've had friends that say, when you're typing, yet if they met me face to face, they wouldn't say that kind of thing to me, But
Exactly,
let
exactly. They
me,
wouldn't. Most people are. My problem is I've downsized a lot of my animals since moving out because my mom's there taking care of them, and then she's
yeah,
always oh, I don't take care of these anymore, and so I'm
yeah.
like, all right, whatever. And so
Well,
I've had to sell a few off, but
we talked real quickly about Sam Wedo Hyde, and because I always get away with it, but when
yeah.
I typed in Sam Wedo Hyde, I came up with something called Men Having Babies. What is that about? Do you know anything about that?
Um, it was probably a YouTube video. He does a lot of YouTube videos and commentary and
Right.
like
Okay.
yeah, I'm not
Because
sure
I saw it
the
and I thought,
context of
holy
that one.
shit, what have I hitched my wagon to here?
No. That it was
I said, I honest to God, man,
if you would
honest
ask
to
Sam
God,
Hyde,
Bodie,
men
I'm
cannot
not
have
kidding
babies.
you. I said to my phone, I said, Sam Wedo Hyde, because I've never heard of Sam Wedo Hyde. It showed,
So it's typically just Sam Hyde, the Wedo part was added for the rap part. But yeah, Sam Hyde, he's on
Okay.
my shirt here actually. And
Okay.
so he's one of the founders of $1 Million Extreme with Nick Rochefort, Charles Carroll. They had a show on Adult Swim called $1 Million Extreme Presents World Peace.
Okay.
If
Okay. I don't know any of
if
this,
you
by
never
the way.
watched it,
I don't know any of
yeah,
this.
if you never watched it, totally give it a watch.
Okay.
And season 2 is actually coming out next year. They self-funded it. But yeah, they're when it comes to like like underground artists and really like stuff nobody's like content nobody's doing, MD every time.
I think we're
Right
gonna run
now,
out
if you
of
go to
time, but keep going.
you're good. If you go to fishtank.live, it's a 24/7 live streamed Hellhouse. It's super cool. Give it a
Okay.
watch. They just bring in a bunch of random people and mess with them for 6 weeks. It's really good.
Well, that sounds lovely. That's they
You
mess
would
with it
like
for
it. I
six
think you'd
weeks.
like it a lot.
Oh, no, I love.
And when I say mess with them, they alarms will go off in the middle of the night. They they do all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't want to spoil it, but it's good.
Let me ask you, because we're gonna run out of time, and I hope we don't. But do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Uh Man, I think next year I want to have I want to at least have accumulated more animals than I lost last year. So I had to,
Okay.
like I said, I had to get rid of a lot of animals last year. So
Okay.
next year I want to not only get my collection back, but I want more. So that's
Okay.
next year.
Well,
And
I have two New Year's resolutions. One is I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to drink any
yeah,
less. I don't want to drink any less. Another one is that I want to keep my glass half full, whiskey or vodka. Those are my two New Year's resolutions, man. Those are
hey, those are good
those I
resolutions. I agree.
just hey lady.
That's
Oh
something I've stayed
man.
good about. I've never stopped one addiction without starting another. That's
Yeah, I told you I'm smoking the diet crack now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm smoking
I
diet
just
crack.
I got off.
I've gained a lot
Yeah,
of weight.
I got
I
off.
gotta start smoking the diet crack. And that diet fentanyl. I think that diet fentanyl might be something.
Yeah, I actually got off of my. I used to take the pills. Now I'm on the Fent carts. The Fent carts are a
Okay.
lot better.
By the way, we have I think less than a minute, but real quick, ketamine is a
Hmm.
horse tranquilizer, and fentanyl is an elephant tranquilizer, right?
Right.
Shark or a whale tranquilizer. That's the stuff I need. I need a big. Oh,
You know, I when I was younger, dude, I know that's the next step up. You know what? I think SeaWorld's got it. I'm gonna get a job at SeaWorld and I'm gonna
Michael
introduce it to the
Jackson, Tom
to the world.
Petty, Prince. We're coming for you. We're coming. That guy from the Foo Fighters.